ladies and gentlemen. We're back. Can you believe it? We are actually back. Back and probably not in black. Actually, that's a lie. I am wearing black right now. I'm gonna try and put some music on just to make things not as boring. So you guys have something to listen to. I just have to make sure that my stream is flowing properly. Damn. Is it only playing on my client? It might be just because my desktop audio is so low. We're gonna try that, moving it up. Then we're gonna put it kind of in the middle here where it's peaking. We gotta play with our audio tools every once in a while, you know? It's just kind of how we go. Yeah, okay, that works. So, let's get to the meat and the potatoes of everything, so we're not actually just sitting here doing nothing for the entire time. I know I have this. Where is my... Oh, I didn't think about which one of these I actually wanted to do. Which one of these I wanted to actually make. Because I did click on one, but there's no story outline. We're gonna move this to... hide my bookmarks bar so y'all don't get to see all that funny stuff. But okay, here we are. Yeah, I just want to go through and take a look at this. This is a very old concept I had for a Sonic game a long time ago. I don't remember the last time I made any edits to this. This is on a Google Doc, so that's an idea of how old this is. But yeah, this is the project. The name is Sonic Chronos. I don't remember if this was before or after Sonic Forces came, or not Sonic Forces, Sonic Frontiers came out. It's weird that those two games have the same. It's weird to me that those games have like similar names there. In terms of like pronunciation, I guess. Frontiers and Forces are like, they're kind of close together. Whatever. Point is, I think I might have started writing this like maybe before Frontiers came out. I can't be for certain though. Actually, no, this had to be after Frontiers. So, I did this knowing fully well that Kronos Island was a place that existed. Let's see. pop my stream tab over here, I guess. Okay, let's just go over all that we can. First and foremost, this is just a fan project I'm working on, I guess. I have a lot of fan projects I'm working on that I should probably finish up. I have an Undertale mod I'm working on. I have, God, I can't even remember. That's how many things I have going on. I have like a review I wanted to make for a game that I played as a kid. There's a whole lot of stuff there. Let's just get into it, I guess, you know? Like, actually go through and read this instead of talking BS for another 20 minutes. I'm gonna start by just, like, going over... I think there is also more promo material in here somewhere for this specific little story I've created. But I'm just gonna go ahead and read over everything. We're gonna get it done. We're gonna, you know, have it out there for the world. Meant for outline purposes, Sonic Chronos is not an official Sonic the Hedgehog product created by Sega's Sonic team, obviously. Though I would love for someone at Sonic Team to see this, or someone at Sega to see this, and, you know, kind of adapt it, I guess, in a way. We have a logo here, which is pretty basic. All things considered, I think I used the basic Sonic font and then like Times New Roman or something to create this. So it was just very basic, very clean. Wanted it to seem futuristic, but also like still in the guise of something that modern Sonic team would probably end up creating. It's almost like in the style of the 06 logo in a way, where it has that like simple. It's simplistic, but it's also very. It says a lot in all that simplicity. Okay, so we have a log line here that I wrote. I'm pretty sure log lines only apply to film, but I guess we can go ahead and just write log lines for games now. When Eggman sends Sonic the Hedgehog into the far future, he must find a way back to the past while saving the new time he finds himself in. This is basically the plot of Sonic 06, except actually good. That might have been what I was thinking while I was writing this. I was like, what if I did Sonic 06, but I made it good? But yeah, the plot. Dr. Eggman has cooked up a new scheme in order to take over the world using a gemstone from another planet called the Chronos Crystal. He plans to send Sonic to another dimension so that he can finally conquer the world. And I think the reason that I said sending Sonic to another dimension using a gemstone that very obviously controls time is because I considered, like, I think I explain it here later in this little text thing. I consider time to be a dimension of its own. Like, there's depth and space. You know, like, we have our third dimension, our 3 dimensions that we exist in, which are space, mass. I'm talking out of my ass here. I don't actually know what I'm talking about. All I know is that we, for some reason, live in the 3rd dimension. Why can't time be the 4th dimension? Being able to move through time is the one thing we can't do freely. So I feel like that logically should be the 4th dimension, if it exists. That's, of course, saying that, like, the concept of the 4th dimension is malleable in the same way that space is malleable. And planes are malleable in the way that we think about them. This is a lot of sci-fi talk for someone who's writing a Sonic the Hedgehog game. But yeah, basically the plot is that Eggman finds another really powerful gemstone that he wants to use to take over the world. And, you know, he wants to send Sonic to a faraway time so that Eggman can take over the world. because Sonic would try to stop him, obviously. And I think how this is gonna go, my original plan was I think my original plan for this was I was gonna have the first stage kind of be like an intro stage or whatever. So the plot really kicks off with Sonic being sent to the future, so the first stage takes place in the present. And I would like the story to jump through time, but obviously I understand why that is confusing and is kind of hard for things to happen like that. But yeah, this is kind of where we're at so far with this story. It's just kind of like trying to figure out the basic stuff. So yeah, stage 1 is like your basic tutorial stage, takes place in the present. Then like your next stage is actually set in the future. There's like a cutscene or whatever. Eggman sends Sonic to the future. Oh yeah, and I totally forgot about the whole Eggman's Descendants thing, which is kind of like, because I wrote this before all that like corn art of Silver. Saying that out loud sounds wrong. That's not what I mean to say. There's a user on Twitter that goes by the name Korn. Like literally Korn, like the band. And they did like this art of Silver, like a concept art of Silver's future, based on a line from Sonic Crossworlds. And basically what that was it was like a tattered future where Sage ruled over it. I just think it's really interesting that I came up with this idea. I don't know, it might be based on Prime, honestly. And the fact that, like, Eggman has relatives in that for some reason. And they're all existing in the same dimension, which also makes no sense. But hey, what do I know? I make YouTube videos for a living. Not even that, I don't even do it for a living. I just do it as a hobby at this point. Let's actually get into the good stuff, the stuff we're here for. Or controls for controller. Obviously, you know, you have your left stick for character movement. Pressing down the left stick allows you to do the light speed dash. Right stick allows you to move the camera. Right stick, pressing that down is going to reset your camera. And then, I really, when I made these, I had the idea of, like, I want every single button to have a function. Like, every single button on the controller, I want to have a function. And not just be there for no reason. So, I think we have D-pad for tag partners, which was an idea I was going to have, or it was like a system where you would have multiple characters in your party at one time, given in any given stage, and then you would be able to change between them freely, basically, with a press of a button, while still having their main abilities mapped to specific buttons. And every character was kind of built to have, or would have been built to have, like, basically the same moveset as Sonic, but with, like, it's like the classic Sonic design philosophy, where it's like every character basically controls like Sonic, but a little bit different. D-pad left, we have the combat runner mode toggle, which I don't know if I explain it in this later down the line, the difference. I do. But basically, the difference between running and combat mode is really just the gameplay. It's like a combat toggle, really. I think the runner toggle is supposed to control more like generations in terms of like how everything behaves. all your controls would be basically like generations. So you'd have, you know, the boost that does damage to small enemies. It just blows through them. You have your slide, your quick step, homing attack, the light speed dash. I think would have been mapped to a different button at that point for that combat mode. I'm not sure for that gameplay mode. I wasn't very clear with myself when I was designing this. So I think I might have still left it with the left stick, but I would imagine I'd probably move it to a different action button or something. If I could change that. Because admittedly, the Lightspeed Dash was something I wanted to have a lot more presence in this than it has in the last few games, where it's like, it's just kind of a thing that exists in the games, and it's not really used for anything in particular. Like, I don't even think the Lightspeed Dash gets used in the cyberspace stages in Frontiers, where it's like, that is the one place where you probably want to have it have some use or something. Like, there is, not to my knowledge, any cyberspace stage that just lets you use the Lightspeed Dash to actually, like, as a core mechanic for one of those stages. And I spelled something wrong, I'm just noticing in the text somewhere, but whatever. And then the combat mode is basically getting control like Sonic Frontiers, so instead of having a quick step, you have a quick dodge, whatever. You actually have an attack button with different attack states, depending on, you know, the way that you're... Like, I mean, it's all explained here on screen, right? Just kind of like the way that these things work. And I think I definitely meant to include, like, more stuff that you could use to chain in combos and things. But obviously not designed very well. This is an old document, so I'm still trying to understand my intent behind everything that I wrote down here a long time ago. Again, with the switching characters thing, we have some stages will allow the player to choose multiple different characters to play with. And I think the system I was gonna go with was that there were really only gonna be like 3 different characters you could play with at a time. So it'd be kind of like Sonic Heroes in that sense, where it's like you have 3 different characters you can switch between at any point in time. They all have different abilities, different stats. So you should play with the characters differently. Which also does kind of mess with the whole, like, combat mode thing, in my opinion, because if you have a power character, like, you're just gonna want to have the power character for all your combat moments in the game, because they're just gonna do more damage for the most part. But I don't know, I feel like a way you could balance that out would be, instead of just having enemies that you defeat, you know, like standard enemies, whatever. I think I might have touched on that earlier, but there's like a difference between certain enemies where there's light enemies, which pretty much anyone can take out using a boost or whatever. Actually, I don't remember, does the boost do damage in this concept? Because it might. Depending on what I was thinking here. I don't really have much. I imagine, because I said it was going to be like Generations, which means the boost does do damage to small enemies. This is the problem with like creating something like this and then going back to it. You don't actually remember everything that you thought about when you were making it. But I do want to go back and just take a look at the controls. I do want to take a look at these controls to figure out exactly what I'm doing here. So, I don't know why you would ever use your left trigger for that. For a ranged attack. That is something you would put on your right trigger, and then you would move. I guess it's just to avoid confusion. But, like, the different modes already control differently, so, like, why didn't I just decide that there was a reason to change it? Because people, when they play shooters, they're not, you know, their brain is not working the way. Because I think that's how I wanted to design it with the ranged attack, was kind of be more like an actual thing you have to aim in a way. I don't know. Like I said, it's hard to remember this stuff. I want to go through just the basic stuff here. You have your jump buttons, which are mapped to A, B, or the X button for PlayStation. So, you know, you have your short hop, which is like the short hop from all the last few Sonic games, where it's just been like a... I mean, how else can I describe it other than just being a short hop that you don't curl into a ball to, you don't really lose your momentum while doing. Then you have your spin attack, which is, you know, just the basic jumping ability in all these games. You gotta hold the button a little bit longer for that. The air dash, the homing attack, kind of same thing. Exclusive to runner mode for some reason in that specific configuration. It's only on the jump button. They have the crouch slide stomp, stomp boost. Which, like, wow, I really put all that on one button. But, like, I can see how it can... I can see how that would function, I guess, is what I'm trying to say. With all those specific options being mapped to one button. Because the crouch, the slide, the stomp bounce. It's not really hard to remember how to perform all of those, because it's just kind of like a difference in what your active movement state is. Like, if you're not moving and you hit the crouch button, you're gonna crouch. If you're moving, you slide. If you're in the air, you stomp. And if you hold the button when you're hitting the ground, or whatever, you hold the button, you do the stomp bounce. It's not that hard to remember. Okay, so we have our triangle YX buttons for our combat stuff mostly. I'm looking at probably... Yeah, so homing attack, E. So that's like the homing attack for the Frontiers homing attack, where it's like comes out dashes to your enemy, you know, probably light. God, it's hard to figure this out without any like stats on anything. There's a spin kick for some reason. I don't know what that would do. Do I have to hold that? No, it's a mash. Why would you mash for that? Oh, imagine this would be... Yeah, it's in the air too, so like, why would you want to mash for that? Maybe the idea was like the spin kick would behave like that one thing from... I think it's like... I think it's Sonic Rush. We're like... It's either Sonic Advance 3? No. Sonic Advance 4? Was there a fourth one? I think it's Sonic Rush, where it's like this little spin attack thing that Sonic... spin move that Sonic does, that like pushes him forward. I could imagine it being something like that if you hold a directional button. Or a directional thing. If you're going in one direction. And then a super transform, which is just holding the button with 50 rings. Which I imagine you could just toggle between super or normal state whenever you wanted. I am a really big fan of that idea. I do want to go ahead and just start like designing stuff though. I don't want to actually sit here and just bore you with details. So we're going to open up Paint and we're just going to start doodling stuff to kind of get an idea. Is what I would say if my computer would cooperate with me. Come on. This is a problem with owning... anything. Let's see. I think I probably want to start with, like, the actual designs of the characters. I would like Sonic to have a different design, like, to be completely fair. Because Sonic's normal design has become a little bit boring to look at. And I think we need more game-specific designs for these characters. So, let's start with Sonic, shall we? I'm gonna... Probably shouldn't start with his muzzle, actually. Start with his head. And then we do... the muzzle on top there. Kind of give that a little... I just want to start by getting his basic design down, really. That's all. I can never remember how far down that weird little... Was it like an eyebrow lip or something that he has? I'm not even sure what that thing is. I literally have a Sonic plushie over here for reference. I cannot tell what it's supposed to be. I would show it to you guys, but then I'd have to turn on a webcam probably and show myself, and I don't feel like doing that today. But yeah, let's just kind of work on the... God, because his face is really just that big, huh? And then... I don't... I love drawing this character, can you tell? I feel like a lot of the design cues I want to take are from like other interpretations I've seen of like future versions of these characters. That was way too close. And I'm like still trying to figure out like where his quills will go and everything. Because that's where he's getting a feel for everything here. I feel like my mistake is that I made it too close to the bottom of the dock. So I gotta move it. Oh, Jesus. I forgot to, that's what I forgot to do. Okay, I'm gonna cut this. I'm gonna change the dimensions of the image, and then hopefully that's gonna make it so... Wait, I can't copy that because I already have that copied. We'll just change that to be the same. Because then that's a good nice square. It's a nice square shape and we like that. Now we just paste our shape back. And I have plenty of room to make my blue boy. I'm gonna put his head like right there. How much more space do I have? I have plenty of space to work with. Okay. Oh, I'm on the wrong... That's not my brush. That's the pen tool for some reason. Why am I on the pen tool? That doesn't curve the way I'd like it to. I'm trying to think. I'm like trying to base this off of a reference image from IDW in terms of like how to shape his quills here. But also early IDW images are just so... They're unique, I'll say that much. That's what they are. They're unique. And I want to give him like a bean-like body. How do I... You know what? We're gonna use this tool to kind of help me start out getting a feel for... Change the, that's not it. Okay. This is it. It's like 3. That's a lot better. Try and understand what body type I want to give him here. I love that. Mm-hmm. Draw this down here. As much as it pains me to say it, I think that was a bad idea. it's been a few years for me since I've actually like pursued art seriously. So for something like this, the compliments are honestly amazing. I'm trying to give him more of like the bean shape for his body, but it's hard to do because I don't have very good control of my pen. And I've not been using this drawing tablet for long enough. So I have kind of forgotten all of my anatomical knowledge. I think for now that's a good base to work with for his design. I think I want to do probably just move on to like his gloves and shoes and what those should look like. I do have like an idea. I just don't know if it's gonna work the way I want it to. So I'm gonna start with this. I'm gonna pull that out like that. Get a little softer. Is that what that does? I don't know. Yeah, that's just kind of thing that happens with it. I'm not sure how to fix that, honestly. I feel like it's like that for a lot of smaller streamers. That's why I keep my YouTube stuff open on another tab on my mobile phone, just so I can see when this stuff pops up. But sometimes I also get distracted by just watching like the cursor on my own screen move from there. I want to say his shoes should probably... I want them to be like a fusion of the soap shoe design and the classic shoes. Not like the classic shoes, but like the ones that everyone knows about. The problem is it's just hard to give it that design. It's hard to shape those. I'll start with actually, you know, probably, because if we can bend this enough, yeah, that looks terrible. Honestly, yeah, I don't know why I didn't think of that sooner. Imagine, actually, I should probably... Maybe I should start with the cuffs on there. I don't know. We'll finish up his arm, then. We'll do his arm. Just to have it there and done. It's getting way too thick for what I like. I might just hide this, and then we'll make a new layer for his arm just to kind of figure out where I want it to start. I mean, yeah, their arms are literally just kind of like beige sticks. So, like, to me, that's kind of a flex, because I can't even draw fingers that well. Like, I would freak out on that. Although I'm not being punched that badly, I must say. It's better than what usually ends up happening. Like, this is what I end up doing most of the time. Is just giving him a thumb, and then the rest of his hand is a big-ass mitten. It's just hard to remember what hands look like, even if you've got them in front of you. It's like, how do I line this? How do I make it into lines? But I also, like, can't just do a ball or something for the hand, because, like, I wanna... I guess I should start by, like, doing the simple stuff and then seeing what works. For, like... I could do a spade. You can do a spade for his hand. Spade has the same kind of shape, right? That's about the same. That's about the shape we want, right? There's a shovel. I don't know, depending on where you live. I just gotta figure out how it's play. Cooking. Oh my god, it does look like an oven mitt. You're so right. Sega should do that. They should release official Sonic the Hedgehog oven mitts that look just like their gloves. They could make bank off of that, just having like the cuffs of the glove look like shadows or silvers. Cause Sonic, he's pretty easy to do. I think for Knuckles, you could add, like, the little spikes on the hand, which would just get in the way, or they could be, like, a little, like, embroidered thing. I think that'd be neat. I feel like those legs need to be stretched a little bit. But I can't do that without moving that. Okay. Weird. Now his arm looks small in comparison. Silly. Sonic Cooking Mama. That's gonna be the 2026 release. Trust. I'm gonna have to. It's a spiritual successor to critically acclaimed. Oh wait, there's another selection thing. I forget there's freeform selection. Every single time I use this program, I forget that freeform selection exists. I want his legs to be like that long. And I might honestly make his arm longer too. Just to make his arm a little bit longer and bigger, maybe? That looks a little bit better. A little bit more natural. It still looks kind of off, but we're gonna roll with it for now because I just want to get his dang shoes done already. See, I don't get the inhibitor ring design every single time for those. Like, it's gonna be tricky to get that shape down to kind of mesh those. Because the soap shoes already do it really well, but you want it to also have the same kind of edge. But I also can't draw the soap shoes because they're... I just don't have enough experience with them. I'm gonna start by kind of like sketching out what I think those roughly look like on their outline, and then we're gonna round it out around here just to kind of give an allusion to the adventure era where his shoes kind of look a little bit more rounded. And then that still has like that big point there, but honestly I think that's fine for the most part. We can just kind of adjust that part of the shoe. And then I'm gonna make the actual soles on there stick out from the grind shoe part. And I'll bring this out a little bit more. I also want to design these like they'd be actual shoes you could wear. Because I think it'd be badass if you could actually buy those shoes. And then I don't know if I want to go for the fabric stripe thing. Was it like a... No, it's a buckle. I'm an idiot. It's just this buckle strap. I don't know why I'm thinking it was like... Because on the movie Sonic shoe, it's like just a random strap for no reason. But I keep forgetting the original intent of that design for the classic Sonic shoe is that it is a buckle. It's a buckle strap over the shoe. What I feel like you could do is like kind of the same thing where it's like with Tails' shoes, where he has just kind of the split down the middle of the red and the white. But maybe we give it a little bit more of an angle to bend at. Almost kind of looks like shadows, now that I think about it. And I do just want to get like some rough colors on here as well. So I'm gonna just... We're gonna The good old classic red on there. Maybe we could do, instead of just that, we could do like a black stripe too. Let me think about that, because that could actually be a really interesting design thing to do. Just to give it like a... Well, then I'd probably have to change the design on that, because this is just the side view. Well, if it's just the side profile, I think it'll be fine if we make it a little bit more. I have to move it more this way. I feel like having like the black stripe there would be very cool. To replace the I do want to keep the buckle somewhere on the design though, in some way. I got a genius idea, hold on. I'm gonna cook. Maybe instead of those being like individual, because I know this is gonna seem pointless, I think it's gonna be badass. I'm gonna put this buckle straps on his cuffs. Sock thing. I don't really know what it is. Like, yeah, it's supposed to be, or whatever it is. We should do it on his arms too, honestly. Do that for his arm, for his hand. Give that same kind of cuff on there. That same kind of design for his hand. Or maybe we just throw a ring in the middle of it. Well, I mean, yeah, that's kind of the point. We are redesigning Sonic for a... Because the thing is, I want to keep, like, a lot of his original design, but also kind of make it futuristic in a way, for the purposes of what I'm working on. I'm gonna go ahead and bring the opacity slider back up, though. Just so I can create this profile for the shoe. make it like a thinner stripe from that profile, from that side. And we'll bring the opacity slider down. I'm drawing on the wrong layer, aren't I? I should put the what's it called? God, I don't remember. From Sonic Unleashed. The thing he gets from Chip at the end of the game. I should put that on his wrist. I don't remember what it's called for the life of me, though. I know what it looks like, I just don't remember what it's called. I want to start messing with his head a little bit. Actually, that's a great idea now that I think of it. Put the ring on his ear. Give him a little piercing. That's the thing about Sonic shoes, you gotta... message got stuck and held for review. I tried to approve it, but YouTube won't let me for whatever reason. Alright, you have a good day as well. We're gonna keep working at this. I will be posting the final stuff on my Twitter and on my Tumblr when it is done. So if you want to check it out, links are in the description. Do I want to start? Let me finish it up. How did that thing look? Does it go on his left hand or his right hand? I think it goes on his right, doesn't it? That's where Sonic puts it. He puts the amulet he gets from Chip on his right hand. Sonic plushie needs to move off my way. He put it on his left hand? Why? That's silly. I think it's silly he put it on his left hand. We're moving it to his right hand, though. For our purposes, it's going on the right hand. Okay, that was... so thin. Keep doing that. And now his arm's gone because I made an accidental stroke and MS Paint sucks. Okay, you know what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put this here. I thought I hit the... We're gonna put that here. And we're gonna bend this. I'm so good at this thing. think it just makes sense to have him have something like that. But at the same time, I also kind of don't want to commit to it, because... tablet got disconnected for like 12 seconds and I don't even know why. You know what? I'm gonna say screw it. We're gonna delete this whole selection here. And you know what we're gonna do instead? We are gonna cut that. We're gonna just paste his other arm over there because I don't feel like doing all that. What do we think about the Wii the Mi Shop, or was it Mi Maker? I don't know. The music gets annoying pretty fast, in my opinion, but that's just me. I'm just obscene. I also like the idea of having everything is off-centered, because Sonic's just like that. Like, certain aspects of his design should be off-center. And then, well, I'm gonna just go ahead and draw it like this. Maybe we can also draw well, does he? I don't think he ever canonically gives back the inhibitor ring he gets from Shadow, so I feel like he could just have it on him for no reason. Slide it on his hand under wherever his glove for aesthetic. Start coloring in his skin here. Give Sonic some skin. Gotta love the blue blur in his blue blurriness. The blue actually kind of looks pretty pretty on him like this. Like, I know I just did this to have the opacity thing make it not look as bad, but I kind of like the shade of blue on him. It's bright, but it's also dark at the same time. It kind of reminds me of his Sonic 1 color. Which is crazy to me to think now that they've changed Sonic's color scheme like so many times. Like, they've changed the color of his blue so many times over the course of the like 35 years we've had this character, which is wild to think. 35 years of Sonic the Hedgehog. I know it's technically like 34 years as of right now, but I mean, in a few months, it's gonna be almost almost... Okay, I don't know why that's... Pens are weird, especially this one. Give him a nice little blue on his back quill. It's honestly smaller than I think it should be, but I'm not going back and redrawing the whole thing just for one quill. Probably should have increased the brush size, but at this point, if I do that now, it's just gonna mess with the consistency. Oh shoot, did that thing actually end? That's hilarious. We somehow managed to beat the free music, no copyright thing. Actually, that's a lie. I'm probably gonna get copyright claim on this video from Nintendo alone for like 5 different songs. Because Nintendo doesn't like people using their stuff. Even when it's somewhat transformative. Nintendo doesn't like anyone doing anything with their property. Whether that be uploading their music for YouTube for people to listen to, or creating a fan game based on a Nintendo IP. Nintendo does not seem to like its fans all that much. That's why Sega's better. They actively encourage their fans to make whatever the hell they want. No matter how cursed, it's just like, hey, go out there and make it. If you want it in the world, go make it. Oh, hi, Sonic. So far, I really like the way that this design has turned out. I would love to see... I think I want to start making like the smaller improvements here. So we're gonna start with... I need a 12-sided object. Does anybody know how to make a 12-sided object? dodecahedron. No, not dodecahedron, dodecacon. That's what I'm looking at right now. Okay, what if I copy this, and then I paste it over, size it down. One problem, I would need to move it off the layer I have it on right now. And then we're gonna paste it back in. I'm gonna shift click and I'm gonna, okay, well that's gonna do that no matter what. I mean, at that point it's already a circle, so. Maybe we'll, no, not that. I need my drawing tool. So maybe we'll make it look a little bit more like, Chaos Emeralds have 1, 2, 3. Okay, and then it just needs to be larger. I have this green here to represent chaos energy. Goodness gracious. is about the finished product of our design here for the most part. I imagine we're probably only going to make a few more changes on this iteration of the design. So for right now, I probably want to call it quits on the designing. I'm really going to quickly going to... Save that for that. And I think I want to probably call it an end to the stream as well here. We have had a pretty productive little run here. Like I said, this design will be posted on Twitter and on my Tumblr page. Go ahead and drop a follow for those so you never miss anything I post on those platforms. Stream announcements usually, and then occasionally memes, shitposts, and the like. But yeah, thank you for tuning in, or for